Minister in the Prime Minister's office S. Iswaran will represent the interests of the Eurasian community in Cabinet, taking over from former Foreign Minister George Yeo. This was announced at the gala dinner of the Eurasian Reunion 2012. Earlier on Saturday, participants at the Eurasians in the 21st Century Conference discussed ways to strengthen and expand the Eurasian community. In his keynote speech, Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Michael Palmer, reminded Eurasians who are planning for the future to not forget the significance that Singaporean and regional Eurasians have played in globalisation.
What took place in this region some 500 years ago, the start of a process where East would meet West and interact and trade and live together, was to give rise to what we now call this phenomenon of globalisation. The Eurasian is the epitome of the merging of civilizations and cultures from East and West, meeting, interacting, growing, and indeed thriving.
Mr. Palmer went on to say the Eurasian Association is doing well in engaging the community, with membership standing close to 3,000, just under 20% of the total number of Eurasians in Singapore.
I feel that more can be done to engage the other 14,000 who are not members of the association, and most importantly, to identify people who will step forward to serve and to lead our community into the 21st century.
Most events held by the Eurasian Association are attended by older members of the community. An aging Singapore population challenges the emergence of newer, younger community leaders.
If you now have a child who is 2 or 3 years old, and you have one child in the family, or 2 children in the family who are 2 or 3 years old, by the time they pass 21, those 2 children will only be sufficient when they start work at 23 or 24, 25. Those 2 children will be sufficient to only support one parent at that time. So this is the challenge that we face in Singapore today. It is a grave challenge, a serious challenge.
On top of engaging younger Eurasians to be members of EA, one suggestion to raise the group's numbers is to take a more inclusive stance, as suggested by civil servant Dr. ALEXIUS PEREIRA.
We don't need any more new labels. New Eurasians, that just highlights that they are different. Why should they be? They are just Eurasians. And we just accept them as Eurasians. And acceptance needs to be a two-way process. So the old Eurasians need to be open and accept the new Eurasians, even though they may be of a maybe slightly different European heritage from those that have been here historically. It doesn't matter. Accept them. And also from the other side, from the new Eurasians, maybe they can be accepting of the histories of the Singapore Eurasians, the regional Eurasian centers, and just accept the history and want to be part of it. It doesn't matter whether they share it or not. They can share it after they accept it.
Relating a conversation he had on first-generation Eurasian babies as a product of rising interracial marriages in Singapore, Mr. Palmer jokingly suggested next year's conference topic would be of Eurasians taking over the world.
Now, a few days ago, some of us were having a chat, and during the conversation, someone said that there has been a significant increase in the interracial marriages in Singapore, particularly between Asian women and Caucasian men, and that their children, by definition, would be Eurasian. We speculated that this rise in interracial marriages could probably be attributed to this phenomenon, which was mentioned earlier, called globalisation, and agreed that we should find ways to reach out to this group of people in Singapore. Someone else then quipped that in this age of globalisation and interracial marriages, Eurasians seem poised to take over the world. So maybe, for the next conference, we should have that as one of our topics.